Hey everyone, happy Thursday. So I'm going to just let everybody come on board for the webinar. We're going to start here in a few moments. We'll let you guys sort of join in, and we're going to be doing questions live today regarding real estate. And you can ask any question, nothing is off board. I'm happy to answer should I know the answer, and if I don't, I will definitely get you an answer. So feel free to just ask away. I've got a couple of questions that have been submitted already today, so we'll start off with a few of those, and then as we get more participation, you can feel free to just chime in with other things that might be on your mind. So hang in there for a few seconds. We'll let some other folks come on and go from there. I feel like we should have music. Jeopardy music. Do, 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 do.
Have some people joining.
Okay. So
Tim Hagen.
Who?
Tim Hagen.
Hi, Tim. How are ya?
Leonard.
Mr. Cox. Hello.
Larry Huffman.
Hey there. So while we're waiting, I'm going to show you something. So these, you're probably wondering what the heck is this? And I will show you what these are. It's pretty cool. We use these for our clients. If you are a client of Lisa Erickson Associates, you get these very nifty cardboard goggles. If you haven't seen them, this is what you do. Basically, in order for you guys to get a first-hand glimpse of property, you can put your phone in here, and basically this becomes a virtual reality version of a house tour. So instead of you getting in your car and driving around sort of aimlessly across the streets, you can use these goggles, put your phone in there, and basically it's a Google set from Google Street View. So it's pretty cool. So you can see what a neighborhood looks like without actually physically going to the property and wasting time. You say, I don't really like that street. You can get a really good view of the neighborhood itself around the house, should you wish to do that. So that's what we do for clients. Good friend of ours, Brian Heckman of the Heckman Group, gave us this fantastic idea, and it's really working well for our clients. So I think it's a pretty neat option. Working with us, we're kind of old school. We use maps. And as Estelle, my marketing person, says, what in the world would you need a map for? Well, the cool part about a map is that I can actually show you what neighborhoods are named here in Pinellas County, for example, or Tampa. So every neighborhood has a unique proper name, and that isn't always known if you're getting into the house hunting world. So we can actually show you on a live physical map how that really shakes out. So that's another cool thing I think that can help in the process of what we do as a business. So how many people do we have?
We have 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Matt probably is going to join us here momentarily, but let's get going. There were some questions that were submitted. Let's start with some of the questions, Estelle.
Awesome.
What was submitted?
Okay, should I talk with a bank before looking at homes?
That's a great question.
Mm.
Yes. The reason being is because if you don't know what you can qualify for, what you're going to be pre-approved for, how much money is going to be required for you to actually qualify for a down payment, you're sort of shooting in the dark. So the agent's not going to be able to help you very well. They're kind of guessing as to what you think from a calculator that you used online as to what would work for you from a payment perspective, but there are a whole host of things that are really necessary in the lending world. So you've got to really talk with a lender. They will shoot you straight. We've got preferred lenders that we partner with who are phenomenal. They give great service, they give great rates, and really at the end of the day, they are your partner too. They can help you get on the right track. If you need credit repair or something like that, they can also help you with that. They can tell you, look, pay this off, don't pay this off, leave that lie. So I think it's a critically important step to basically start that home buying process, to speak with a lender first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I see Matt coming in.
Matt's going to come in. Oh, Mr. Camera Shy. Come on, Matt. Come on. Come on.
What's going on in here?
Yeah, we're already recording.
Yeah?
Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, come sit.
Just closing some deals, Couldn't get on the call right away. What did I miss?
Well,
Here you go.
we're going through some of the questions that have been submitted.
Cool.
And so we're going to go on to the next one. What's the next one, Estelle?
All right. Should I buy or continue to rent?
Well, I think that's a personal question. You can look in there. Everyone's Matt's he loves video.
I feel like I'm allergic to video, but here I am, and nonetheless, I'm going to tough it out.
You'll be fine.
Buy or rent? If you like living in the city that you're currently in here, I would be rather to be buying now than be buying later. You'll be paying more.
Okay.
That's the simplest answer. If you like renting and you don't want to take care of your building, you can still buy a condo, and you could not be having to take care of anything and at least be putting equity into your future, meaning that your monthly rent check isn't just going to someone else's bank, but you're actually putting money back in yours. So reach out today to one of the preferred lenders we work with. I'm happy to share some of those with you. If anybody wants to, just message us on Facebook, and we can likely get you a very good idea of what your monthly mortgage would be, and likely is less than rent.
Yeah, people are always shocked, I think, from a first-time home buyer perspective, what they can actually afford. They think, oh, I need to rent, I need to save more money, I need to do this or that. I think oftentimes they're very, very shocked when they actually talk to a lender, and it's not as scary as what you think. They can actually get pre-approved pretty quickly. Most people that we partner with can get you a pre-approval in one day. And then, you can really start to shop and see what's out there. And, I liken renting, unfortunately, to basically putting a big pile of money on the table here and lighting it on fire. It builds no equity, it builds no wealth for you, and what people don't really understand from, your first house to your fifth house, it's the fastest way to build wealth. Very passively, frankly. I mean, you have to live somewhere, right? So why not put your money into something where you can actually get a return for that instead of just, putting it in someone else's bank account. So that would be the philosophy there. We have calculators also that we could share with you that basically help you estimate what the difference would be, like your rent costs annually versus a mortgage cost annually. You could see what it would cost you today versus buying in 1 year. Like, what's that difference look like? So ask us for that calculator, and we can definitely send that out, and you can see for yourself. So that's a great question.
Okay, awesome. All right. Next, can I find a rent-to-own property?
Absolutely. Rent-to-own options are out there. Word to the wise to be wary that many people that are offering the opportunity to basically put a portion of your rent towards a down payment or part of the ownership of the home really don't allow you to be in control should their mind or whatnot change. If they pass on, or they get a divorce and the property gets sold to someone else in the family, or they just change their mind, they don't necessarily have to return any of the money that you've been paying in there, depending on what you signed up for. Yeah. And if you default once, they have the right to basically take all the deposits you've been forwarding towards a mortgage payment or a down payment and keep it. So you can do it, but make sure you really trust and have a long-term relationship with any person you might be considering doing a lease to own.
Okay. All right. Next one. I own a home. Should I buy another one before selling my current home?
If you can, why not? Absolutely. It puts you in the driver's seat to be in control and not be under any time constraints or any pressure to hurry up and do something that you're not ready for. But most people don't want to have two mortgage payments at the same time. If you're in the position to do so, it strengthens your ability to take your time to look and also be getting marketing going for your own property so you know what you're going to be getting to take to your next home.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I would say about that is if you do have the luxury of being able to do that, whoa, this chair goes way back. If you have the luxury to do that, it is a fantastic thing because you can procure your new house, move out of your current house, move into your new home, and then basically ready the house that you want to sell without hassling yourself. You can do a lot of different things with a house that's vacant. You can stage it. You can really sort of fine-tune it a lot easier when you're not living in it day to day with kids or dogs or whatever the case may be. So it's a good luxury to have, but not everyone has it. But
I'd say 9 out of 10 buyers that we work with who are moving from one home to another will find them their home and sell their home simultaneously. With a team like ours, we're able to help them through the whole process.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Next question. Do I really need a realtor when buying a home?
You don't need one, but it's sort of like going to court and not being represented by an attorney. If you don't have experience in the negotiations basically that you're entering into, you're likely to be A, taken advantage of, or B, leave money on the table. at the least. A realtor will always protect your assets better because they know the ins and outs of the contracts that you're going to likely be entering, and they negotiate on your behalf and keep it at a professional level that oftentimes is complicated when you're working directly with another agent or another seller yourself. Emotions can run quite high. So we find that 80% of folks that are going to buy or sell end up working with a realtor, and usually if they've started on their own, they switch to a realtor without successfully finding a home on their own. So the statistics would say working with a realtor is going to reach success easier.
Yeah, and I would say why not, right? You know, sitting in our shoes, obviously we're in the business of real estate, and so we do transactions every day. It is our expertise. It's what we eat, breathe, and sleep. Versus someone like yourself doesn't really have, you know, the expertise. That's not your profession. Maybe you're a law officer, Mr. Cox, for example, or an attorney, Mr. Bernstein. So, you know, you may have expertise in other areas, but real estate's a very different animal, frankly. And the other thing that you should know, some people ask this, and I think this is one of the questions that was submitted, in that who pays the realtor commission on a buyer? That's actually paid. It's like a pay it forward policy where a realtor, like ourselves, that gets paid to bring buyers to the table for a seller, the seller actually pays us. So, you know, in that question, do you need a realtor to buy a property? I say, why not? You know, that's no expense to you, and it's only a protectionary measure for you as a person buying a home. So you don't have to worry about commissions being paid. In almost every circumstance, you're going to have the commissions paid by the seller. And if it's a for sale by owner, we can still negotiate commissions as well with them, and they will typically pay our commissions to bring a qualified buyer like yourself to the table. So that's a little known secret that you can find a lot of, you know, signs in a yard for sale by owner, and we still do a lot of transactions that way because buyers know that we're well qualified to bring them somebody qualified.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, great. That's all the questions we have.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was too easy.
That
Too
was.
easy.
One thing that I get asked a lot, and I bet you do too, is inventory is really low, right? You see the headlines, inventory is at an all-time low for real estate. So what does that mean? It must be a seller's market, right? And I would say yes and no. So let's just talk about that a little bit. You could ask the question, right?
Yeah. So from the perspective of a seller in the market, if you have an AA plus house, meaning your house is the nicest home in the whole neighborhood, nicer than anybody's, and not just emotionally you love your house so much more, but you know, it's got more bedrooms, more bathrooms, better updates, newer roof, a pool, and the other homes don't have a pool, 3-car garage, and the other homes have a single-car garage. If you're the best home in the neighborhood, you can get the best price for that market. Buyers today want to hold out for the best property. They want a deal. Basically, I think it's driven by the fact that most people's wages haven't increased that much since the economic recovery. So people are doing well, and they're ready to buy. They want a deal because they don't want to sign up for more of a mortgage payment than they're really ready for unless it's the dream home. So if your property is an A++, then I would say you are in a high demand situation. If your home isn't an A++, that's one of the reasons to sit down with us. There's likely some things that are very simple that you can do to make your home feel like an A++ and really shine among the competition in your own neighborhood. Because we see a lot of homes sitting on the market a lot longer than they should, and it's a shame that realtors don't always help them find the most value with doing the least amount of work.
Yeah, and I think that's the caveat, right? So you hear the big headlines, you know, so much inventory, and he's talking about homes sitting on the market, right? So how can that be? It seems like an oxymoronic kind of statement. So much inventory sitting on the market that's on an A++, yet there's not enough inventory to go around. So why aren't people lining up to basically buy a non-A++ property? So I think there's an answer, you know, it's the art and science of real estate, where you got basically this fight that's going on. The fight of the market is there's little inventory, sellers like, I want top dollar, and buyers, exactly what Matt is saying, that they're saying, I want the best property that I could potentially buy, and I want turnkey.
They want what they saw on HGTV last night. Does it look like, does your home look like HGTV? If it doesn't look exactly like it and feel exactly like it, most buyers aren't attracted to it right now because they're living in an HGTV world.
Yeah, it's an immediate gratification sort of world that we're living in right now. So that whole appeal of HGTV, staged homes, it looks beautiful, it looks luxurious, it's updated, it's tripped out to the nines. That's what people want. Not every house can have that, right? It's not feasible to do it that way. However, what the good news is that you can do some tweaking, like Matt's saying, to a house. We're happy to give those insights to any client that would like to have us out. Definitely be open kimono and share those things with you. But as a buyer, that's where we come into play. Is that we can say, okay, you know what? If this house is like the perfect location, sort of got the perfect layout, maybe you want a pool, there are things that we can bring to the table to help with, for example, trades to come in and help do a renovation project. We do a lot of renovation loans with our partners in the lending world to make sure that you can get an HGTV product. At the end, you can pick your finishes, the things that you love, at a price point that makes sense for you and your family. But it doesn't have to be exactly looking that way right today. So we find ways to work around that if it doesn't exist in the market at a price point that you want for a finished turnkey sort of HGTV look. Anything you want to add to that?
I think it's just one more reason to work with a qualified realtor. You really need someone who understands value and what is A plus in the market and what's that going to cost, and advise you on how to get it if you want that, or what it's going to take to make it that way, whether you want to buy it and have it that way or you want to sell it and get the reward. We know the strategies to get to both.
Yeah. So I think right now it's good timing, right, Estelle, for us to sign off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
so,
say your goodbyes.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll do another webinar next week. Please submit your questions. We've got things here that we can actually send to you. We're big on statistics. If you want any reporting for your house, your neighborhood, I have it by zip code. I have trending statistics. I mean, you name it. I probably have it at our will in terms of giving it to you. Happy to do that so that you can actually get the details behind what is really going on as opposed to what you see as the headline. So email us anytime, text us, call us. It doesn't matter. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. See you.
Bye.